Yeah, this was a policy of a couple of years ago, and actually U.S. trade has increased. Today, there's actually some news on that too. But to double is not feasible. We would have to grow over the next 3 years the trade sector at a rate that is not feasible. And actually, it's kind of interesting to think about trade in general, because what you see happening in Europe is basically the opposite trend, where countries are almost going back to a system of autarky. It's you don't want to trade, especially with peripheral countries, and some of these countries are not officially in the periphery, like France, because you can't deal with their banks. So there's a possibility that countries are going to become less open in terms of trading because, especially in Europe, because of this financial crisis. You can imagine what would happen if oil went to $200 a barrel. That's going to greatly increase transportation costs also. And the cost of doing many types of businesses, especially agriculture. So again, you can see kind of a trend towards countries wanting to become more self-sufficient. So I think that's kind of interesting. So it might be that what we see is we've seen an explosion of trade, but people are kind of now thinking about the downside. So it's really hard for, let's say, if somebody wants to buy a BMW in Greece, well, traditionally that was great for BMW because they make a profit on every sale. But now, like, how do we get the money to Germany? It's not so easy unless you pay in gold. So I think that we've seen a pullback on that, and there could actually be, for a number of countries, a trend towards kind of looking within their own economies and becoming less reliant upon other countries. We've seen what's happened in the U.S. even. So we've had growth, a lot of it export-led, a lot of it purchased by or financed by China. So you've got the imports growing as GDP grows, and that money goes over to China. It's effectively sterilized because they buy U.S. Treasury bills. But what happens when that money's unleashed? So that provides a pretty significant risk. Is anybody managing that risk? I don't think so. And it's not just that the Chinese exchange rate is too cheap. That's not the whole problem. So I do think that, and it's kind of a contrarian view of trade, that we might actually be surprised that it's not a matter of doubling over the next 5 years. It could be surprisingly low growth.